has everyone been able to see their clients talk consciously and unconsciously too? Is everyone able to spot that? Brilliant. That's the biggest thing. That's what most therapists cannot do, because they're too busy trying to prepare this little script or story or technique in their head without actually paying attention to their client. So if a client speaks to us consciously, how do we ignore it? We just don't pay it any attention. You might have 100 words and 2 of those words were unconscious. You ask your client about those 2 words and just delete the rest. Does that make sense? Okay.
Scott,
it makes sense. It almost feels rude.
It almost feels what, sorry?
It almost feels rude or insulting to ignore so much of what they said.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah, but realize that's the best thing you can do for your client, because the reason they're sitting in front of you is because they believed all the stuff they've told themselves. Worst off, it's become it's something they've heard from their mum or their brother, and they've believed that too. We'll talk about this tomorrow in MAC training as well. Is it their belief, or is it their belief they've created, or is it from somebody else? That adds another layer of complexity, and we'll look at that tomorrow. Okay, so the best thing you can do is just ignore. And that comes back to, and people ask all the time, and someone asked me on a YouTube video actually, do I write down information that my client gives me? Legally, if I had to, I would, but I didn't have to at the time. And my argument also is, if 99% of it's just garbage anyway, what are you writing down? You're just writing down fluff. People say, well, I can use that stuff back on my client. What? Use their conscious fluff back on them? It's not going to do anything. Best thing you can do is just ignore those things, pay full attention to your client, and listen to that 1 to 2% where the real juicy stuff is. Does that make sense? But again, if you have to write that stuff down legally, you have to.
So Scott, are you making an educated guess as to what those 1 or 2 words that really matter are?
Yeah, and a lot of it is an educated guess. So I have to test it, which is I ask them about that thing and I'm either right or wrong. The more I do it, the more right I'll get over time. So we talked about this when you start seeing the bigger picture. You still have to test your theory. But when that bigger picture comes to you with intuition and you see unconscious moments, you can see all the pieces coming together, your guess is pretty much right all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scott, when we